first flight of the Algo Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower. Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
What's going on, guys? Um, we are here on Saturday with Hambone again, and he's following suit with our NFT coverage that we've been doing all this week. And he actually has a pretty good lesson up because he's been trying to figure out another way for people to get into the NFT community and getting some NFTs out. So he's going to be walking everybody kind of through that. So we'll be sharing screens and everything. That's why we're in our Trade Talk video channel. So I will hand it off to him.
Thank you very much. All right. Sorry, guys. I got a little blockage in my throat here. I was just eating some Nerds rope, so excuse me for being a nerd. But anyway, so like she was saying, we're going to talk a lot about NFTs tonight, some different cryptos that are out there, different blockchains that we can use to create and upload our works to be monetized, or just to be distributed out there into the internet however we want to. But anyway, the blockchain or crypto that I'm really interested in is called Algorand. I don't know if anybody's heard of it or if anybody's researched any of it, anybody even holds any of it here, but I've been onto it for, what would you say, probably 6 months, close to 9 months maybe at the most. But anyway, we'll talk a little bit about it just to kind of get a little bit of a backstory on it, or some different talking points of it. But anyway, so Algorand right now, looking at the wallet, which is very nice, it's an extremely nice wallet. It's sitting at one algo is $1.06 US. So yeah, that's up 2 cents from yesterday. But yeah, Algorand, unique proof of stake. If anybody has any questions as to what that means, I can try to break that down a little bit better. But Basically, it has pure proof of stake. So it's the only version of this. It provides a solution to your typical blockchain dilemmas, or I guess trilemma in this case. Um, Typically, a blockchain has issues with scalability, security, or decentralization. Some kind of combination of the three normally present some kind of issue. But they've kind of solved that with their pure proof of stake technology. They do it all in a very green and efficient way. It's actually carbon neutral. I know there was a lot of, I guess, controversy with, was it Bitcoin earlier this summer with, causing a bunch of draw on the power grid or something like that. But anyway, carbon neutral, super efficient. So that makes me happy. I use reusable bags every chance I get. So I don't know what that says about me, but for what it's worth, it has a very high transaction per second rate. I'm not sure of its exact rate currently. I'm sure I could look it up if need be, but I know that it started at 1,000 transactions per second, and they're trying to get it with future updates to 46,000 transactions per second. So I'm not sure where that stacks up against all the others, but the last that I knew it was up there. It was pretty high. So that kind of brings me to my next point. I know that a lot of NFT talk is done on the basis of, understanding that it's all going on through Ethereum. Common complaint with Ethereum is the high gas fee. I found out about that whenever I first started trying to get into minting my own NFTs. Hence why I haven't minted any yet. But for Algorand, the gas fee is 0.001 Algo. So, that's like a fraction of a cent or so. But, that kind of leads me to another topic we'll get to here in a little bit, as far as minting Algorand NFT. One last thing I did want to point out before I moved on to that was they have a very impressive team of people that have been on board with the project since get-go. I'm sure I can drop a link somewhere for the white sheet or whatever for Algorand, or, if you're at your computer and it's handy for you, you check it out yourself. But yeah, they've got a great staff on board as far as the project goes, and it's got a very, very good direction as far as its utility, its different use cases in the real world. It's been, for the time that I've been following it, has been very stable. So, yeah, I mean, if there's any questions about that, I'm sure that I can do my best to answer them. But all that being said, we can move on to talking more about actually minting Algorand in it.
Yeah, so this was actually kind of interesting. So Tampa Kurt says Algo is in beta mode with Algo Dex and Algo Pay. Very interesting project. How do you know anything about it? No. Sorry guys, he was taking a drink. So yeah, no, that's Tampa Kurt. If you want to give us a link for that, I would love to look into it, definitely. So I will touch on this while he kind of rests up for a sec. So he has been, like you said, looking into the NFTs using Algo, and like guys, the wall. Like I know a lot. We've been talking about like OpenSea and everything this week, with the main NFT groups and everything, and and they did actually bring up the fact that a lot of content creators are moving towards Algo because of the cheaper gas fees and everything. So I love that he's actually learning this and has found this aspect of it. Like he's been working on this like all week. So if you're ready to continue.
Yeah, I can pick up from there. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and attempt to share my screen here so you guys can kind of get an idea of walking through minting a Algorand NFT. So I tried to do one last night, and goofy me, I completely forgot to make the video or the MP4 file a GIF so that it would loop continuously. So we'll just kind of start over with the same file, but this time the correct file. Yeah, we'll go ahead and check this site out. So like one of the first things you'll want to do, you'll want to go to this this manager site called Pinata Cloud. So I don't know if you guys can see the link up there, but anyway, you'll go there, create your account, and then you'll just go here to this little upload button. Whenever you click that, you click file and upload. And then I've got my GIF. I'm not even going to say it one way, so I'm not going to cause any arguments or anything like that. But anyway, you go ahead, upload it there. Put in your pen name if you want. So so yeah, once we get to where we can actually see the file that I've got here to upload, this is something that's pretty interesting. I was going through some of my old drone footage and was looking at some from just before all the lockdowns started everywhere. And this is actually of a cruise ship, one of the last few cruise ships that was heading out before they all had to be, sidelined and put out to sea, just off our shores down here in Florida. So it was just kind of interesting to come across. It's like, oh, that would make a pretty cool NFT, I think. But yeah, it's almost finished uploading here. But there's just a few more things that you'll have to do after this, like so let's see, I'll finish there. Take a look at asset. So I don't know if it's coming through very well on the screen sharing, but the way the animation is set up, so the only thing that's moving is the water. So it's called what's called a cinematograph. So basically, you have the majority or a portion of the picture or one point in the picture that's not moving, and the rest of it is. So it's kind of interesting how they turn out whenever you make them. But yeah, I just thought it was a cool one to start out with for myself. But anyway, now that we've got that uploaded there, we'll go to this, which is my Algo. So this is an asset manager and an Algorand wallet. So assuming that you've already set up an Algorand wallet with the official Algorand wallet, and you've already got some coins already, you'll just go ahead and link that here. And then once you've done that, you'll create your asset, and then whatever you want to call it here. I think this is one of the names that I was goofing around with last night, trying to set this up the first time. But yeah, I'll just go ahead and call it that. But so that's the name of your asset. So that's actually like whenever you see it on the storefront. So like this is AB2. So this is an Algorand storefront gallery for NFTs. Like here's recently purchased. This like this is pretty funny. But let's see. For some reason it's not showing up. Yeah, we can pick it. I just didn't see everything. But let's see. I think why it's so slow. Okay, there we go. So this person's got a NFT of, it looks like a little like koala bear and some green armor with the Algorand logo on it. But let's see. It looks like someone purchased it today for 30 Algo. So that's like roughly $30. So pretty cool. But this is kind of what they'll look like, is the asset name like we were talking about here. Unit name. So what unit is associated with your asset? This one, I'm still relatively new to a lot of this, especially the minting of my own. So I'm not sure exactly the significance of this. If anybody could answer that for me, that would be awesome. But just kind of going off of what's already typed there seemed to have worked for me previously. So I'll just go with that again. But anyway, going on here. Total supply. So this is how many you want out in circulation. So say if you have a really, really cool NFT of I don't know whatever imagination piece you can use to throw in there. Say you make a really cool NFT and you only want to make 5 of them available. You would just put sorry. For some reason it's not typing. All right. Anyway, so total supply, like I said, if you want to make 5 of them, if you want to make one, like a 1 of 1 scenario, or 1 of 50, or we'll do for myself here, I'm going to make 300 of this one available. And then asset URL. So earlier, whenever we uploaded it to this Pinata cloud, what we need to do is shorten the link. We need to do a few things actually, but we need to shorten the link and this IPFS CID as well. So there's a couple places you can do that. But let's see. All right. Sorry, I thought I had everything pulled up, but bear with me just a moment here. I'm sorry if I'm putting anybody to sleep. Like I said, I'm kind of doing this for myself in the sense too, just trying to solidify and retain what I've tried to figure out with this. So all right. So Kenna just pointed out to me that she found that unit name should be Algo. So it still works for me with USDT, but I didn't fully mint anything or publish anything, I guess. So anyway, we'll just change that, leave it, and see if it gives us any trouble or anything later on. But back to what we were doing here with the asset itself. So what we'll want to do is shorten the link using tinyURL. I'm sure mostly everybody's familiar with that one. Let's see. Go ahead. Believe that it's. Go ahead, copy the link after you open the asset. Bring it over here, copy, paste, create that, and then you can go ahead and copy this to our clipboard, bring it over here, and there we go. So like I said, mainly we have to do that because there's not enough space in this box. Like it will not take all of the characters. So I mean, it even says, I didn't notice that, but it says it will also be where more information about the found will be added to the note field. Oh, I thought it said something about it there. I read too fast. Sorry. But anyway, so moving on to the next portion. So this is where we come into needing to shorten this part, the IPFS, the CID. So go ahead and open this site. So this is MD5 hash generator. So basically, same idea as tinyURL. You're just taking a long string of characters and shortening. So we go here, copy that. We'll go ahead, paste there, generate, and then you'll just go ahead and take the shortened version here, the MD5 hash that's in the middle here. This is our original one that we copied here. Now, moving on to these options down here. So these addresses, you just kind of leave these alone. This is the address of the account that holds the reserve or non-minted units of the asset. So this would be the wallet or address that you linked. Same with the manager here. But the freeze and clawback addresses, what those do, those kind of allow you to, as the minter or creator of the NFTs, you can actually, from my understanding, freeze transactions of this NFT, so it can't be traded, can't be sold. You know, wherever it's at, it stops. Move anymore. Clawback address, basically, you can actually repossess, I guess, the NFT. Those two, you know, that's how I understand them. I could be wrong, but pretty much all that's left to do here. But you go ahead and create the asset, and here's the fee. So 0.001 Algo. But you just go ahead, create it. I got my password there ready, and give it just a few moments to get added to the blockchain. And after this, it's pretty much ready to go. Yep, there we are. So it'll go ahead. Once you click on it, it'll open up. Should open up. Yeah, sometimes it takes a moment, but basically from here, what you would do, remember exact. Yeah, I can click on the made for TV one. You know, kind of like those old cooking shows when they had the remember they had the turkey already like made up or whatever, and they're like, anyway, to save time. But let's see, we'll go back here. So once you get that uploaded here and everything is finalized on the blockchain, then you would be able to go here, create your account with the AB2 gallery. Go to, and I've already, like I said, I've already connected all my wallet and everything to this stuff. But basically, you would just come over here. You would do the same thing. Your quantity 300, limit per order. Now for this, it's a little bit different than anything we've seen so far in our menus. But basically, this limits the quantity that someone can purchase at one time. So, you know, if you don't want people just coming in and buying up all 300 of them at once, which, if people want to do that to me, that's fine. But if you wanted to put a limit, you could put that there, whatever unit you wanted, and then unit price. So anyway, unit price. This is where you set your price. So for me, I would be comfortable with mine at like 30 algo. Seen some stuff, and I mean I've seen stuff all over the place. Before I do that, we'll go back and we'll try to find some appropriate ones to check out here, like this. So there's quite a few of these flamingos that I've seen for prices very similar to this, 1,250 algo. I'm not buying that, but there's some for that kind of price. There's one here for 1 algo, 15, 30, 50. So they're kind of all over the place. It's very cheap in comparison to minting a normal NFT on the Ethereum blockchain, which has a very high gas fee. I'm not even sure of it exactly at the moment. The last time I tried was probably sometime in March, and I lost interest in it for a little bit there just because of the gas fees. But that pretty much takes care of the entire process and all that. I'll post some links in a couple of different places. That way, everybody can kind of get an idea of how I got to this point and the different sites that I used and everything like that. But
Yeah, and we can definitely post those on the YouTube description and everything. So I will tweet those out as well, everything that he has covered. Um, and I'm assuming you're gonna probably drop that tonight or something. Oh, so yeah, he'll be dropping his first NFT tonight, guys. So that's pretty cool. Um, so if we do have any questions, if you have any questions at the moment, Trade Talk chat or YouTube will be the best way because of how I have the chat set up, or we can move up to the Trade Talk stage and you guys can ask questions in person. That's totally up to you. But yeah, it's been pretty interesting to learn more about the algo side of all of this for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and move everybody up to the talk stage. Man, I cannot talk tonight, guys. All right, give us 1 second. All right, so we'll just wait for everyone to kind of. Actually, I'm gonna just move everybody up here. There we go. All right, not. Oh, it is kind of a quiet night tonight. I'm sure everyone's just kind of hanging out tonight. It is Saturday, which is fine. But yeah, so I really wanted to have Hambone do an NFT night tonight to kind of follow suit with the NFT week because there has been a lot of questions about how to get into it and people have been kind of weary to get into it because of the gas fees with Ethereum and bringing it to people's attention that there are cheaper ways to get into it, maybe not as well known as Ethereum and using like OpenSea and platforms like that. I think it's really cool. It's been a really awesome community to join into. So, but it's I don't know, like being able to be on with like um different groups within the spaces and having talks with like the Poopsie gang and like how they're all doing their NFTs and having like Baloney. I can't say his whole name at this present moment, but I just call him Baloney whenever I talk about him. Having all of those people sharing their wealth of information and then having Hambone look into other parts of the NFT world. It's been incredible.
Yeah, it's been really interesting. Like a little bit of a short backstory on myself. I grew up with my grandparents. They didn't really see a need for me to have the internet, and I really didn't have the internet until 2010. So and that was whenever we met and moved out together. Up until then, I just kind of coasted off of whatever I could get at a friend's house as far as using a computer or whatever. Whatever I could find at school using the computers in the library. So I mean, I didn't really have a whole lot of exposure to the internet and really computers altogether. Like I said, I had friends that had computers and whatnot. So I mean, just for me to get to this point where I'm not maybe making like the craziest thing out there, but the fact that I'm even it's kind of so simple at this point that I can do it is pretty nuts to me.
Yeah, for sure. I do try to remind him on a constant basis that the internet was not the same as it is today because, I mean, let's face it, AOL was probably obsolete by the time I was in middle school or so. I think is when we switched to a, you know, non-disc internet where you're paying by the minute, which, yes, guys, I am that old. Oh, Hallister wants to come up. But yeah, it's been interesting. Noel in our YouTube, thoughts on AMC and GME history cycle. I will be covering that later this week. Tonight is finishing one of the last 2 days for NFTs for the week, so I will cover that later on in the week, if that's okay. Hey, Alistair.
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad. What do you got for us?
Well, first off, I was just gonna say, wow, that's incredible. I mean, 2010 for regular access for the internet. Like, I was floored by that. That's incredible. Um, but I suppose more on topic. So I mean, I've been thinking, like, I've been listening to a lot of the NFT discussion like this week, and as I think about it, like related to the underlying cryptos, I guess. Like to me, it makes me almost like more bullish on Ethereum in general, right? Like thinking that gas is being burned, which is deflationary to the underlying crypto that the NFTs are related to. Um, I mean, I'm still. I mean, to be honest, and not to be contrarian, but I'm not completely sold on the NFTs themselves, but it makes me feel really good about the crypto that is being, used in the underlying. So I was just interested in your all's thoughts on that.
No, I get it. No, I don't think it's being contrarian at all. It's just, trying to get a better understanding of something that, especially like comparing Ethereum to Algorand, they're the people that do make those comparisons typically they either favor Algorand and kind of despise or hate Ethereum, which is that's not the way that I am. I see a space for both because Ethereum has been a little bit more proven in my opinion. It's not so much the new kid on the block compared to Algorand. Algorand doesn't really get a lot of coverage outside of really Reddit. I don't really see a whole lot of anything about it on YouTube. I don't really spend a whole lot of time even on Twitter to where I see it. But as far as the gas fees and stuff like that, I agree. I agree that the gas fees burning up a lot of that Ethereum on its own. Yeah, that's something that will probably in my opinion make it go up in value. Obviously, Algorand doesn't really have the same gas fees. They tried to do their best to keep them low. So to me, kind of relating all that to your last point, being bullish on Ethereum and just, kind of NFTs altogether, and, trying to figure out NFTs and where they fit into the grand scheme of all this. To me, as someone that, does a lot of, photography and, not necessarily art, like I don't do a lot of drawing or painting or anything like that anymore. But, there's a lot of people that do, and they don't really have a space or the means to really get their works out there. Like I saw this YouTube video not too long ago. It's this group of guys. I don't know who they were, but they were some kind of influencers or something like that. But they had come across this homeless man who was trying to sell his artwork on the side of the street, and he had practically nothing. Like he was really not getting, a whole lot of money, obviously. He was, living on the side of the road and selling his art there. But they helped him to get his art that he'd already created, and they helped him to get those put onto the blockchain as NFTs, listed them, and I mean, it was just like instantly, like, they were using obviously their influence on social media to give him that audience, but it was enough money to obviously change his life. I think it was something like they'd gotten like $30,000 just on the one day of his artwork being live on OpenSea or something like that. I can't remember where they listed it. It's been a few months since I saw that video, but it's just kind of one of those things. It's just a space. I don't really see I don't really understand whenever I see the numbers of some of these NFTs that are in like the millions and millions. Like, to me, that's kind of defeating the purpose of it all in a sense. Like, I don't know. If you're a little bit cynical, you could even say it's money laundering. It's just somebody trying to stash away money without it being completely tracked. But
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you read my mind a little bit, but yeah. I mean, no. I mean, that's incredible, though. I mean, those kind of stories. I mean, that's amazing. That I mean, it could have that kind of individual impact. I mean, like I said, I'm still. I don't know. I'm. I've been listening the entire week, right? I mean, I've been. Um, going through. I mean, NFTs is a new space for me. Like, I mean, stocks in the market and the broad economy, and even blockchain and crypto to a certain extent. I mean, I'm familiar with, and you know, and would certainly like to learn more about. But um, I know this week has been more of a broad discussion on NFTs, which has been really interesting. But yeah, I mean, those kind of stories are amazing. I mean, it's unbelievable to an extent, right? That it could have that kind of individual impact.
And we also, I know you've been listening because obviously I see you all the time. But like, uh, I mean, I think what's really cool with the NFTs is that, there is that broad use of them, right? Like it's not just, minting digital art, but it's also for physical, tangible art pieces and real estate, gaming. Um, I mean, just all kinds of different, ways that NFTs can be used as contracts, and to make them, I guess, things that you couldn't contract or create those kind of certificates for, now you can. And I think that, I don't know, and like to see like like, okay, so like for instance, like if you bought the original Mona Lisa, right? And that's now an NFT. I don't know if it is, guys. Don't quote me on this, but say that's an NFT, and then somebody else buys it, and now you can actually see who is actually owning that throughout its life, right? Like, so if it was sitting in the Smithsonian, or if it was sitting in some billionaire's house or some castle or whatever, like, you could actually, see what it goes through. And I think that's pretty interesting to actually witness.
when you mentioned the real estate, just kind of playing off the subject of the night with Algo, there is I think that there's more than one, but I'm only familiar with the one, but it's called Lofty.ai. And basically it's kind of like a crowdsourced real estate invest. Uh, they they label it as tokenized real estate investing. Um, they on their website it says become a direct owner of an AI vetted real estate property in 5 minutes and sell anytime. They've got a wait list that you can join and everything like that. But basically, they purchase a property using their AI. Their AI looks at all kinds of different things. Like I remember it mentioning, they look at crime, they look at schools. Your basic things that you would normally look at, but they also look at things like common occurrences of like noise complaints to the police department or something. Like they get really detailed in their vetting process for a property. Oh, here it is actually. Art mural spotted. Popular with Instagram influencers. They look at electric charging stations for electric vehicles in the area. Places with more green foliage, more green areas. Just things like that. But I think that they've had about 8 or so different properties that they've gone through the process with. You basically invest with Algo, and the whole thing is done on a smart contract with Algo blockchain, and really about the best that I can do with the information that I have so far with it. But it's just another thing that's out there, using the smart contracts for real estate. I think that I remember reading the point that somebody made about it, kind of taking the human element out of it or something like that, but can't really remember exactly the full context, so I don't want to get into it too much more. But it was just something kind of cool that I wanted to point out after you mentioned.
So Dee had a couple questions for you. So she asked, how much did it cost in gas to do what you just did for the 300?
It was like 0.001 algo, so it was less than a cent. So a lot cheaper compared to the time that I tried to do it with Ethereum, and it was like $50 worth of Ethereum, I think. Can't remember. It's been a little while. I'm sure that's changed since then, but
Her next one was also, so the NFT is a picture that stays on the computer, digital service. I get the blockchain can't be ripped off. So what can you do with your NFT? Like if someone were to buy your NFT, what could you do with it? Like what?
so in the Algorand wallet, the official wallet, you can actually hold the asset there, and that is as an app on Android and iOS devices. You can view it there. You can basically list it on the AB2 gallery website and resell it if you'd like to. There's you can download the image. Trying to think of everything that you can do with them. I mean, that's kind of where we're at in the whole process of NFTs. In my opinion, it's still kind of the Wild West where you don't really have a whole lot of adoption as far as like, I would like to see. I think it would be cool if there was like more of the NFT museums or galleries, like physical galleries. So I don't know if it was a pop-up gallery or if it was a permanent installation, but it was an NFT gallery that you could walk through, and it was in Atlanta, and they had like all of these like huge high resolution screens all over the place with just these like super intricate NFTs, just these different like digital pieces of art. It was really cool to see that. That would be something I would like to see more of, or maybe like uh, more of like a physical wallet that you could have for your NFTs. Like, you could have cold storage for your crypto, but if you could have like um, some kind of like hard wallet that you could have for your NFTs, I think that would be pretty neat. But as far as what you can do with them, it's your property after you purchase it. I mean, you can do whatever with it. At that point, if you create YouTube videos or something like that, like say you wanted to create a YouTube video and it was just a compilation of all the NFTs that you purchased, and you just create 1 2 minute video of all of those looping together, one right after another, you would be able to monetize that video since you theoretically own the artwork. So I mean, it's pretty much up to you at that point what you do with it.
I will say the only thing I found different is the MLB, like all the trading cards. You can't monetize those, which is really weird. It's all like
Yeah,
the
because it's
copyright.
still licensed. That I would kind of assume to be the case anyway with those things, because I mean it's a big corporation at that point. It's not individual.
Yeah, and so her last question was, how big is the NFT flamingo? Looks smaller than the one that Hambone made. Can you see how big they were? I know it was an 8-bit. Everyone's kind of flocking to the 8 bits. He's looking right now, guys. Mm, it doesn't say.
No, it doesn't say, but it also could have been whenever I was screen sharing. If I had it, if I didn't have it taking up the full screen, it could have looked smaller compared to the one that I made. But yeah, I'm not sure as far as like the standard size of these. Whenever I created mine, it was just an MP4 video, like 1080p. So I'm not sure. It doesn't really say anywhere here. Let me see if I can look in another place really quick before I make a final answer here. Yeah, no, I don't see anything else. So no, there's not a standard size that I can find, and there's not a size that's listed whenever you actually mint the asset.
Thank you for answering this. I was actually curious if the flamingo is smaller too. I didn't know because I know, well, and that's actually the really interesting thing is that, we were looking through like OpenSea and through the Algo market and everything, and there's really not a lot of the type that he's trying to mint at this point. So I thought that, that's where it gets a little bit tricky because you're like, okay, um, are people interested in these? Or is this something that people would want, and whatnot? And so, like, kind of reading the market. So it'll be interesting to see if it actually uh, takes off or not. And I don't know. Drew, To the Moon, Sammy Sam, 1D, and anyone First Strike, if you guys want to come up, ask questions or anything, you're more than welcome. We got about 15 minutes left for the night. If anyone does. That Charlie video sold for like six. I know, D. Oh my gosh, like it was crazy. That was a crazy one. But the NFT world, like, I am very excited that we've been able to kind of immerse ourselves into that community. They are a really fun bunch, and um, I don't know, like I can't thank them enough for uh, definitely like just kind of holding my hand and trying to understand because they definitely speak a different language. Hey, First Strike.
Hi.
How's it going?
Oh, yeah. It's going. Been busy with a lot of things, but I actually have an interview tomorrow. talking about suicide and stuff. So I'm trying to write that up as well. But I just wanted to put this out there. Like, you need to go like back to like last week and start all over with NFTs because I don't know anything still.
I mean, at least it's all been recorded, so I guess that's a good thing.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Watch the VODs, man. Come on.
What?
Watch
you're
the
right.
VODs. Come on.
Right. We got to go back. I have to go back and watch everything.
I mean,
So,
we've had some incredible people with the Twitter Spaces. Anyone that's been tuning in all week can attest. Like there's days when I'm just like, can you go back? Because for some reason this is not getting pounded into my brain. But they are sharing just all kinds of not like with Hambone over here, like just spouting off everything that he's saying, and I'm like, I tried to watch exactly what you're doing, and I'm still confused. So, this just might be one of those things that it's gonna take a while.
yeah, I 100% agree. But at least there's a lot of information out there just from this week alone, from all the work that you've done. So I just wanted to put that out there. Like, if people still don't understand, like, there's a lot of things that you just put out this week about NFTs, and it's awesome work. So I appreciate it.
Aw, thank you. I appreciate that so much. Like it's been a busy week, I'm not gonna lie, but it's been a fun week. Like I really haven't had any stress covering the NFTs. Like it's a different kind of stress. It's a good stress. It's learning and trying to absorb and reaching out and actually like my Twitter feed is because I've been following so many of the NFT creators. I just see pictures now. My entire Twitter feed is just pictures, and I love it. Because it's just people just doing drops, and like people will contact me and say, "Hey, I'm doing a drop or something," and whatever. So it definitely brightened up my Twitter space from just like walls of text. That's for sure. So yeah, go follow some if you want like a happy Twitter feed, go follow the NFT creators, guys. They post some funny things and um like Baloney, his whole series, like every series he does is something to do with what you find in a corner store. So like right now he just did like a beverage drop. And then he's doing like sandwiches and like different like fun snacks and things like that. So it's a fun one. And then you have, and those are little, I mean, they look like little clip arts. And then you have, like I said, the Poopsie Gang, like he does all these hand drawn, customized emotes for people, and then Hambone's doing the cinematograph type NFTs where he's taking drone footage and then having to layer them and make it to where only one part of the picture moves, and then you have gosh, Crazy Dead down in Cuba. Oh my gosh, that is some funky artwork, but I absolutely love it. It's so good. And he's a great person and to follow as well. So, and then NFT update. He's a massive community. So if you guys do need to go find information, that is a wealth of information to go drop into. So, but yeah, it's been a fun week for sure. Do we have any final thoughts for the night?
I guess real quick, I thought this was a good question. Like Johnny Rocket was asking in the YouTube, he says, like, do you have to be an artist or an athlete to sell an NFT? Like basically, I guess if you're looking to get into the NFT space, like what do you need to do or create to, kind of get into the NFT space? I'm curious myself.
I don't think you have to be an athlete or an artist or anything like that. Like, I kind of struggled with the same thing at first. Like, I was seeing all these people like create these like, beautiful pieces of digital artwork, and I don't have the ability to do that. And as much as I would love to sit down and try to learn, I don't necessarily have the time anymore. Um, but it's just a matter of finding something that is attainable for you that can either fill a spot that hasn't necessarily had as much attention, like to me, I see that there is a lot of 8-bit artwork. I see that there is a lot of digital artwork in general on the NFT marketplaces. Me personally, I'm not really the best at being creative in that sense, but if you give me my camera or my drone in 15 minutes, I could probably come up with a pretty cool shot. So it's just finding what you're good at and doubling down on it. If you're someone that sits around and you play with GarageBand on your iPad or something like that, and you create, they may be silly 30-second songs, but to somebody they might be worth, paying a couple bucks for. That's a way that, a lot of artists, not in the traditional sense or the general sense of like, creating a painting and uploading that as an NFT, or even like what I'm doing and taking a photograph and uploading, you can do audio as well, because if you can upload all these different file formats as an NFT, is kind of limitless. I mean, it's just finding something that stands out, I guess. I don't know.
To add on to that too, like I mean, heck, if you're into woodwork, if you're into welding, if you're into, making things with your own hands, painting or whatever, if you go and restore like an RV, like any of these things can be minted into an NFT. Like quite literally, like anything that is tangible, that you can put your hands on can be an NFT. If have a house, you can have an NFT. It's really interesting. I'm very curious to see how this goes. Like, I was, um, I don't want to say skeptical, but I was hesitant on it at first whenever Hambone first brought it to me, gosh, 9 months ago or so. And I was like, you know what? This might be like Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. Like, um, it was just a really fascinating time frame of when he told me about it and what we're seeing, and just like the explosion of it lately, to see how it's all working out. And so, hey, cousin Sven, I moved you in here. So it's been really interesting to actually see the community grow and kind of start getting people more knowledgeable about it, because I think this is a good utilization of the digital era, and that's really what we're going into, is a digital era, unfortunately, in some terms, because I'm sorry if technology goes down, we're screwed in that essence. But um, no, you don't have to be an artist or an athlete to sell NFTs. Actually, I believe there was, I can't remember how much it sold for. There was a gray pixel that sold for an astronomical amount of money that was stupid. I don't remember. It was a few hundred thousand or something. There was a bidding war on it. It was a gray pixel. I kid you not, guys. Um, but yeah, it's an interesting one. Any other questions?
Maybe just broadly, like I know. So tonight, I know we've been talking about Algo kind of versus Ethereum, which I mean, it seems like to me like most of the NFTs we've been talking about so far this week have been based on Ethereum. Um, I mean, are there other avenues to mint NFTs, or I guess going back to my original kind of sentiment about being bullish on the crypto asset itself, as it applies to NFTs, like um I don't know, I mean, are there other avenues to be minting, or I guess from an opinion type perspective, does it make you guys feel bullish on these particular um, crypto assets, in the sense that NFTs are being minted and sold under that umbrella?
So I was trying to completely digest the question. So like, are we bullish on the NFT sentiment or?
Well, or just on the underlying crypto that's being burned through the minting of the NFTs themselves. Sorry, I may not be making complete sense. It's been a long day.
No worries. I think, in my opinion, um, the more we start using the cryptocurrencies and using those through the NFTs, crypto thrives on volatility and usage. When it was first created, it wasn't meant to be, just a held asset, right? And so, the more we use these cryptos, I believe we'll be better off for it. So yeah, I would be very bullish on the different the underlying assets of them. Yeah, because plus with Ethereum, switching over and everything and reducing their gas prices, and then Algo having their own, like it's an interest incurring crypto. So like you actually gain interest as you hold it. Um, so yeah, I would be definitely bullish on them. I definitely. And especially if, like GameStop or anything like that would start using uh, cryptos and NFTs and things like that, it would only increase the utility of it, um, for lack of a better phrasing. But I mean, the more we use we're giving it value. If it's valued in the society, then it has value. Whether or not it's an accurate value, Bitcoin being 40 some odd thousand or something. I don't know if it's hit 50 or not. I haven't been tracking it too much lately, but it's things I believe will start leveling out. Like I think we'll see Ethereum go up, Bitcoin kind of coming down a little bit. Well, we'll get into that later on another day. My full thoughts on Bitcoin. But no, like Ethereum, I think we're going to see coming up because it's a good crypto. And then Algo, and Cardano and things, those kind of coins, like I think they're going to start really coming up because I mean when we started, even watching Algo, it was maybe 40 cents, 30 cents or something. It wasn't. Algo was pretty cheap whenever you first got into it. Um, but yeah, so it's an interesting one to watch for sure. And I mean, we're gonna do an entire crypto week this coming up week because it's been something that everyone's kind of been asking about because of the NFTs, and so we have to do the cryptos. So this coming up week, I'm gonna put out the schedule, um, probably tonight, a tentative schedule unless something pops up too. But we're gonna be basically covering GameStop and crypto this week. So I'm hoping that my NFT people and my crypto people come on and help me out a little bit. So they buy the digital copy. You destroyed the original artwork. No. Wait, what? No, you don't destroy the original artwork. Why would... How? Okay, so maybe you can touch on that. So if you paint a picture, and you turn it into an NFT, how does that work? Can you answer that question? Cousin Sven, can you answer that question by any chance? If you can, I can invite you up. There we go. I would like someone that can explain it way better than me to do it.
I don't know how this works. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I can't hear you now.
You can't hear me at all?
Well, it turned off speaker. It was like on speaker, and now I got to put the phone up to my ear, I guess.
Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine that I can't answer it real well, but I imagine that it's almost like just a receipt of ownership that's kind of logged onto the blockchain. So it would give you, the rights to the original, so to speak. So, but no, you wouldn't destroy the original.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I would put it too.
Yeah. So that's what I think.
So would you send the original artwork to the person, or does it stay?
That's how I would do it. I would send the original. Like I would make
Yeah,
it if it were me, I would make it a package thing. Like, okay,
yeah, they get the
you go to my website and you order a print of one of my photographs. I send you the print, and then I also, in the invoice that I'm sending you or whatever, I tell you, here's an NFT of the same artwork. If you have a digital wallet, if not, I suggest you get one and put it in there. I don't know. That's how I would do it at least, and then vice versa. If you buy an NFT, then maybe eventually down the road I could do print to go with it.
kind of like a certificate of ownership, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah, exactly.
but yeah, I
Oh.
mean, you can do different ownership rights when you distribute. Like you can be giving them full ownership of everything, or like on a limited basis. So with something physical, it's kind of like a full ownership thing. Where if it's digital, like I guess you could, if you did it with like music, either you own the file like to listen to, or like you could own it to actually be able to distribute and profit from. Or I guess that would apply anywhere really for art too. But like you might be able to only own it but not distribute it and sell it, or maybe you have the right to sell it. The creator that is selling, I suppose, gets to determine those terms, right? I don't know. I'm certainly not experienced enough in the space to give. Those are just my thoughts. I mean,
I appreciate
Yeah.
your thoughts. Alistair?
I just think, yeah, to me, I mean, that's just, I don't know, that comment just changed the game, right? Like, I mean, to me, that's so interesting, right? Like, because I mean, in all the discussions that we've had this week, to talk about not only owning the NFT but also owning the original and thinking about it, as a package deal. I don't know, for some reason I haven't made that connection, and I mean, perhaps certain creators haven't made that connection even to a certain extent, but that almost changes the game, right? To not only have the original, but to also own, the NFT of the original, kind of in tandem. Um, I don't know if for some reason, like me, people haven't also thought about that. Um, that seems to be
that's what I
amazingly
do. That's what I
attractive
do. I
from my
change the game.
perspective.
Yeah, I think the having a certificate of ownership, like I think that's actually a cool idea, guys. Like we might actually try to do that. I'm trying to. Can you send it to me through Twitter? So, um, the last thing, and you guys will have to go to YouTube to see this because we can't share screens in this one because, well, Discord has not figured that one out yet. They have a stage, but you can't share anything. You can just talk. Um, so, but he has officially put this up so he can kind of walk you through the last stages that he had to do um, to get this done. I am actually pretty excited for you. That's really cool. Like you said, like Hallister, what you were saying, like him not having internet for until we moved out together, and I grew up with the internet. Like I've had the internet since I was 6-ish, and I'm 31. Um, so it is very intriguing, like because when we first moved out together, he was constantly online, constantly on the internet, just looking up stuff, looking at this, looking at that, and I was like, why are you so fascinated with this? And then he had to explain it to me, and I'm going, oh, okay, so that's actually a thing. And so I mean, but he also doesn't take it for granted. Like he fully embraces like being able to learn as much as he can. So I guess that's where the big difference is. Like I get on, I look up something, and I'm done. And he's like, oh, but why is this? And why is this? And what is this? And he also didn't have to suffer through like Ask Jeeves that didn't know anything. So that was yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. So Ask Jeeves was terrible, right? Like Google actually at least knows something. Like Ask Jeeves, you'd be like, hey, what's the recipe for blueberry muffin? And be like, did you want to know how to grow a banana? No.
Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad, and they had all those commercials trying to push it on people, like
Oh.
Ask Jeeves, and what a letdown.
Right? Kind of like MapQuest, like right? Like it would kind of get you lost almost daily. Um, which is, no, I'm sorry if anybody does not know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm sorry. All right, so I am going to share my screen, and Tyler, you can take it over from there and explain how you did this. Well, I know the final steps.
All right. So, final steps basically, I know that I got to it at one point before we ended the topic initially, but on the AB2 Gallery website, whenever I went to my account and I hit manage and then unlock my wallet, I'm able to see the asset that I created and added to the Algorand blockchain. And from there, I'm able to create a listing. I'm able to do my quantity, my 300 that I'm putting out there, my price at 30 algo, and from there, you just pay the gas. The gas fee ended up being about 3 cents altogether. So it wasn't too bad at all. But now it's completely finalized and everything is up and listed.
That is very cool. And I know he's now officially going to be taking his drone out after these hurricanes pass, and I'm never going to get him home. So, but yeah, it's a really cool thing. So, there's just a wealth of it. And I probably will continue kind of diving into the NFT world because there is just so much to cover because it is such a new investment opportunity. And I keep getting asked what I'm stashing my money into after the MOAS, so this might be one of those safe havens in a sense. You know, they always tell you to invest into like art and um, it's it's very interesting because I look forward to seeing what people do with these for sure. Any final thoughts, Hambone?
No, not really. I mean, it's just one of those things. It's just really cool to me to see stuff like this. Like, you know, I do a lot of doom scrolling, unfortunately, trying to keep up with everything going on in the world. You know, partly in need and partly out of, want as far as having a hobby, I guess. But it's just cool to see something like this. This is what I thought the internet would be whenever I was a kid. Like I said, I didn't really have a lot of exposure to it outside of school and the occasional friend's computer. But this is what I thought it would be. Just kind of a way to give people a way to share their hobby, their interest, stuff that they see from their perspective. Like I said, to me, this is kind of an interesting uh, cinematograph that I made because kind of one of the last few of the cruise ships that was going out with passengers before all the lockdowns happened. And between us girls here, I wasn't really supposed to be flying my drone where I got this shot from. So, don't report me to the FAA or anything. I don't want to lose my license.
Well, I mean, we did get scolded by the park people because
Yeah.
to be fair, their little post was not up at the when we went into the
Yeah,
park.
they told me they had a sign up at the gate. I don't believe it. I mean, I could have been just that excited to go and fly my drone that I missed it, but I'm not going to
To
admit
be fair,
that. I mean, they slapped our wrist. They told us to stop what we were doing. They were nice about it though, but it wasn't even like an FAA thing. It was just like a local. It was like a county park, so they're like, hey, no drones to be launched from county parks per county statute, blah blah blah.
But what's funny is you can't take off or land in the park, but you can fly over the park to get to where we were actually flying. So like if we would have parked outside the park and launched and took off and everything, it would have been fine. Um, But yeah, it was just one of those funny little instances when you're like, oh, okay. So if you are a drone pilot, um, make sure you're paying attention to that thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of goofy. We went back another time, not to fly or anything, obviously, but we went just to visit, and um, it was like the tiniest faded piece of paper on the window of the gate, the gate guard's little shack or whatever that was like, "No drones, please." That was it. That was literally it. So it was easily missed, but no harm, no foul, I guess.
So Cousin Sven is asking where he can connect with you.
I'm on Twitter, but I don't really get on there much. I mean, obviously, I'm here on Discord, but I don't really have the notifications turned on. Like, I'm really bad at the whole like social media thing. Like, I don't have Facebook. I've occasionally scroll through Instagram, but it's pretty much just like other drone pilots and photographers at this point. So
So basically, if you need to get a hold of him, just let me know.
yeah, that's probably honestly the easiest way for anybody.
All right, guys. Well, I think this was a great segment. Hambone, I totally appreciate you doing what you did tonight, and I am very proud of you for getting your first NFT, and welcome to that space. I think is what the cool kids say. You're in the space now. So I'm trying, guys. I'm so trying. I really am. And I appreciate the NFT community. You guys have been completely phenomenal. So I will see you guys tomorrow. We are actually, Cousin Sven says to tell you hello.
Yeah, I haven't done it in a long time, so I'm not going to do it. But I used to do a very, very close Ren impersonation. But hi, cousin Sven.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so tomorrow, you guys are so silly. Tomorrow we are actually going to be on early, and you are hearing it here first, and I'm going to tweet it out. We are going to be on early tomorrow. We're going to be on at 4 in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. Renzel will be joining us tomorrow for a very big announcement that we have. That I am excited. He is dying laughing. I am excited to tell you guys. I've had to keep it on the DL for a little bit, but we have a big announcement tomorrow. And we are going to be finishing up our NFT week, so hopefully we can have a lot of the NFT group that we've had, DPS, Cousin Sven, you better be in there. Baloney better be in there. Like everyone that I've talked to this whole week, I look forward to seeing you guys. But until then, good night.